Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Chimera Miniatures, official YouTube channel. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean. Today we're going to be diving into the world of RPG horror stories. Today's post comes from Doc Chicken Wing and is entitled, "This is D&D, not an outlet for your sexual frustrations." Just to let you know, Doc Chicken Wing has categorized this one as long and not safe for work. You have been warned. As this is a cold read, as I record this, I cannot give you any further warning than that. This goes all the way back to 2005-2006. The internet was still a new expanse. AOL and MySpace were still popular, and we were a group of nerdy teens who were expanding our self-determination by playing Dungeons & Dragons and some other TTRPG. It has been almost 20 years, so the exact date and TTRPG does not come to mind. Yeah, this already makes me feel old. I graduated from high school in 2006. OP, a 15 to 16-year-old male that looks 22. Horny, a 14 to 15-year-old male with the developing body of a middle-aged plumber. DM, a 17 to 18-year-old male. Friends, a group of 3 to 4 other males in the ages between 15 and 17 years old. Okay, we've got a somewhat interesting cast already. I mean, I've known 20-year-olds that look like teenagers. I've never seen it go the other way, and I kind of already feel bad for Horny. I mean, I can tell he's probably going to be the antagonist of this story, but the fact that at 14 to 15, already having the body of a middle-aged plumber, that's unfortunate. The reason I point out body types will become apparent later in the story. Anyways, we are a group of mainly nerdy and kind of socially awkward teens. We were into anime, manga, video games, reading old sci-fi, and so on. The DM at the time had a job and used his money to acquire some TTRPG gamebooks and wanted to try running a campaign. Yeah, I remember the days of being a nerdy, broke, slightly awkward teenager. These days I'm just a slightly less broke, awkward adult, but hey, at least I get sex on occasion, so moving up in the world. Horny had taken the liberty of asking his parents if we could do it at their house, as they lived close to our high school and a bus route we could use to get home after it. They agreed because they were also nerds and were excited for the younger generation to pick up tabletop role-playing games. Horny told us, and we all agreed and started planning everything. This story is already filling me with a lot of nostalgia, but not like good nostalgia. It's like just reminding me of the days when I was broke, I was lonely, I was awkward. I didn't even have like a job or a car, so like I had to ask my parents to drive me places. Like I remember, and this was, this story takes place when I was going through all that, so those are parts of my life I'm glad things changed. I don't look back on that time well. I mean, it wasn't all bad, but again, unlike some people, I would not want to be a kid again, especially not a teenager. We didn't make our characters until day one. That way, we were all in the room, knew all the stat rolls were legitimate, and could talk over things to build our party. This is where the problem started. You see, I enjoy playing female PCs in RPG games. I am not trans, it is not a fetish, I just enjoy female PCs. Being in a group of teenage boys who were starting their sexual awakening, I had to deal with, "Are you gay? Do you wish to be a woman? Why would you do that? That is gay. Are you trying to seduce your way through this campaign?" And so on. I grew up with a ball-busting family, so none of this bothered me, and eventually they layered off. Except for Horny. I don't think it's weird that OP wants to play as a female character. I've honestly considered it for the campaign that my fiance plans on running. I got her last year for Christmas the Rise of the Drow campaign book, and she wants to run it, and I've been thinking of playing a tiefling of Drow ancestry. And I've kind of considered playing a female PC, but I feel like that also might be somewhat metagaming just because it's about Drow and Drow society, and I feel like that's kind of a metagamey thing, so I'll probably still just play a lowly male. But, I don't play who you want to play. It doesn't make it weird. You're just trying to play a different character. But yeah, I probably would not have had the courage to do that as a teenager around a bunch of other horny teenage boys. You see, Horny was transfixed with the idea of my female PC. Wanted to know all the details, and while a little weird, I just figured we were all a little weird and let it slide. I didn't want to cause issues before we even started. I rolled up some firearms, expert, made her a ginger with green eyes, and said she looked plain and boring. Then he asked about her cup size, and I cut that off. Told him this was just D&D and not some AOL sect session. He dropped it. The next day, we had our first session, the classic meet in a pub and introduce each PC thing. Things were going well, gunslinger, warrior, mage, and of course, Horny, with his horny bard. Okay, fair enough. Things are starting to get into the motion. when Horny comes out of left field with, "I roll to flirt and seduce OP's PC." We all stop. Have a laugh at this. My PC was the only female PC, so we thought he was joking. He clarified he was not. So to try and diffuse things, I said, "Hey Horny, my PC is a lesbian, so nah bro, let's continue the game." Now I know I should have shut it down harder. I should have left something, but at this time I was really excited to play D&D and didn't want to ruin it. I figured we could push past this. Again, I can't blame OP for not just leaving. It's one of those things you learn with time and experience that no D&D is better than bad D&D, but yeah, at that age, I didn't play D&D until I was in my 20s, but had I been given the opportunity at that age, I definitely would have been really excited, and I would have put up with a lot more shit than I do now, because I would also not have learned that, sometimes you just gotta leave. Well, Horny pushed and said, "This is D&D. In the real world, men can convince lesbians to date them, so it should work here. I should get a chance to roll and try." DM piped up and said, "I will allow the roll, and if he gets a nat 20, you have to RP flirting with him." Horny quickly rolled and got a nat 20. Hell, a part of me still hoped Horny was just doing a joke badly. Well, Horny took it seriously and started getting sexual, talking about his PC grabbing my PC's breasts in the bar and trying to roleplay flirting with me. I feel like Horny is definitely a problem player. It's kind of creepy that he's wanting to flirt with his friend's female character. Just like when one of my players in my original campaign was always wanting to, flirt and seduce NPCs, I had to look at him and go, dude, it's just me doing a voice. You're not actually getting laid here. But this goes a little beyond, because it's like, dude, that's your friend. It's not even an NPC, it's a player character. You're actively flirting with a player character. But I feel like the DM made a crucial mistake here, too, in that you never allow PCs to roll persuasion against each other. Just don't do it. I don't care. Yes, you're more than allowed to try and role play and flirt, but again, if one player tries to shut it down, Horny should have respected that, but the DM definitely should have stepped in and gone, okay, no, what player 1 has said no, so player 2, you gotta knock it off. But again, this was stated before, this was all their first time playing these, and while I can't forgive what Horny's doing, I definitely think I can give the DM a pass because he's never experienced this before. This is one of those things that comes with time, practice, and experience. Remember when I said our body types would come up? Yeah, this is it. So here we have Horny, a male with the body of a budding plumber trying to roleplay flirt with my character. While looking me, a male, built like an adult man who speaks diesel engine and was throwing up 170-pound bench presses in the eyes. So, needless to say, I left. I took my PC sheet so he couldn't do weird things to it, told them this is too weird and creepy, and took my happy ass on home. They tried for another week to do some more D&D, and Horny was non-stop horny. So they just stopped the D&D as he started trying to get the DM to RP, NPC flirting, and other things. All the guys there, except for Horny and the DM, gave me an apology of some kind as they all thought it was just a joke gone wrong. The DM didn't apologize, but did say he too thought it was a joke gone wrong until Horny tried to do it to him. Horny just refused to even admit he did anything weird, and I keep my distance from him after that. They didn't play D&D with Horny again for a while, and then made strict rules he couldn't do that again or would tell his parents / kick him from the group. And I refused to play D&D again until 2020. I told my new group my past experience and said for me to play, I want no flirting or seducing PC characters, no stealing from other PC characters, and no horny bullshit. And that is the end of the story, guys. It didn't seem too terribly long. I don't know if that's typically what's considered a long post, but we're just coming in at under 10 minutes here. But yeah, no, a couple of takeaways from this one. Definitely wish OP hadn't sworn off a D&D until 2020, but I kind of get it, considering that would be a somewhat traumatic experience. I know I was saying to give DM a pass, but after DM didn't actually apologize and then said, oh yeah, I just thought it was a joke until he tried to do it to me, I definitely, you get some of those free pass points taken away, DM. First of all, I get it, you thought it was a joke, but after you realized it wasn't, you probably should have apologized for not shutting it down. While Horny's bad behavior is strictly in the realm of all of the stuff he did was in make-believe land, I definitely think he is probably one of the thirstiest people I've ever heard about playing D&D. And don't get me wrong, I have played with thirsty players before, but the fact that he is so hard up that he is trying to force roleplay flirting with his male friend who just happens to be playing a female character, like, bro, it's not worth it. So yeah, guys, today's story was just kind of short and sweet. Not going to keep this video going too much longer. I will say thank you for sticking with me, and if you enjoyed this video, please support me by checking out my links. I do sell custom miniatures, both of the Dungeons & Dragons and HeroClix variety, including my most popular item, Not Safe for Work HeroClix. All are available at my links, which will be in the description as well as at the bottom of the screen here. Thank you once again for listening to Chimera Miniatures' official YouTube channel. I am your host, Mr. Sean. I want you to alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye!